Well, yeah, that just happened. Just got done with the 8th episode of Shadow House, and things are getting a little weird, but let's get into it. So yeah, episode 8 of Shadow House got a little weird at the end, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, so far in this episode, following Lou and Ricky, we had them essentially find Shirley. They noted that she was laced to the actual plants and stuff that she was, and it said there was a sign that had that the plants there, if they touch the skin, will cause rashes or something. So that gives a little bit more difficulty to whoever, well, it would end up being Rum. Whenever Rum does arrive there, she's going to have a little difficult issue with the fact that there is these plants there that can harm her skin, which again is against the rules. She can't have her face harmed at all. So we'll see where that goes. They then end up finding a soot trail, and this is where we find out that, well, Lou is very observant, even though she did. Lou is very observant and able to observe the fact that every single one of these Shadow family members, or at least these ones that are in this trial, have had different ways of their soot dispersing. Noted that Kate was straight up. Shirley didn't emit any. Patrick's was, I think, Patrick or John, one of them kind of disperses outwards. One of them sparks. And then one of them is, well, hers, which is Lewis, hers kind of curls. And so she knew that it was her master that was at that particular location. So again, it was kind of like, oh, cool, she's very observant. But she didn't observe the fact that she's going to fall off of a cliff, but that's fine. But it was cute because when they arrived there, she realized that Lewis heard her voice because she stopped emitting soot, so she had to say that she was leaving just to get her to get anxious again, just to create the trail. Then once they kind of let Luis out, Luis is like, you know, who is this boy? And she's like, oh, well, Patrick helped me out. And she's like, oh, yuck, disgusting. You followed my beautiful Lou. But this kind of leaves a little kind of a cliffhanger right here because Patrick, or Ricky at this point, did I say Patrick earlier? Ricky at this point is, in his mind, thinks, oh, I can push these two inside this hole and that'll get them out of the picture. I don't think he'll do that. I don't really necessarily see them doing that. I mean, he is a very he's like probably the most aggressive out of everybody in this group, obviously, but I don't know. I think that the experiences that he's had with Lou, I think he likes Lou. Experiences I had with Emilico, I don't think he'll do it, but I wouldn't leave it past him. At the same time, it wouldn't shock me. I don't think he'll do it, but it wouldn't shock me if he does, because they're kind of being nasty to him. I don't think that Lou has anything against him. Lou just does a good job in portraying Luis's face. So we'll see where that goes. But again, I don't think he's going to do it, even though it's implying that he will. Of course, Emilico and Rum continue their journey. They go through a labyrinth where they find a lot of scorches that they have to fight off. Get to see why that she brought the cart. It was so she can gather materials so that she could pretty much do anything. But eventually they part ways, and when they're doing that, Rum mentions the fact that she's not Shirley's face. And I was like, what? What are we doing here? And she's like, no, what I mean is that I'm not the original Rum. I'm like, wait, what are they doing here? No, wait. It's because apparently she wasn't given the name Rum. When she created Rummy gave her the name of Rum, and Shirley never speaks to her. Shirley doesn't emit soot, and she doesn't have any purpose with Shirley, so she doesn't believe Shirley wants her. And it was really cute right here because Emilico kind of mentions the idea of, well, I can't see my master's face anyways, or either I just imagine what she's thinking. So maybe Shirley, you know, likes to clean. That's why you never have soot to clean. Maybe Shirley's constantly giving goofy faces to make you smile. All these really cute things that, you know, she can imagine that Shirley believes. It's kind of the concept that I really do like in my personal living. Is I always like to give people the benefit of the doubt. If something doesn't happen or happens a certain way, I always give the person a benefit of the doubt. Well, maybe there's a positive. Like everything could have a negative or a positive way. Always look at it possibly being the positive. That way you don't end up looking like a jerk in the end. So I really did like that mentality. And I think that worked great for Rum. It was a really cute scene. And so, yeah, she goes off to find Shirley. And Emilico goes to find Kate. Kate we find in a cage. Apparently the mechanism that is above her is gathering soot, and it's breaking the chains as she's there. but hearing Emilko's voice stops her soot, so she's good for now. And then this jumps over to Edward, and this is where things get weird. It's a glimpse before the event started. They're preparing. A couple other living dolls come to Edward, and they're like, wow, this is extravagant. You're doing something really crazy here. It's a little above and beyond. And this is where he points out the fact that he's trying to gain the notice of those on the 3rd floor, and namely Grandfather. He's hoping to raise up in the floors. Apparently, these living dolls can actually raise up in the floors, and the higher the floor, the better status. And he's currently on the 2nd floor, and he seeks to get on the 3rd floor. So he's trying to get their attention in order to do that. That was okay. That made sense to me. And then it got a little weird because he started playing the piano in the current time. And as he's playing the piano, he's talking about how they're, getting through all the puzzles that he's created. And then suddenly out of nowhere, his hands get enveloped by soot. And then his head gets enveloped by soot. And that's where they end it. So yeah, I don't think that he can control soot. I don't think this is implying that he's controlling soot, but I believe this is implying that he is allowing himself to be enveloped by the soot in order to do something. And we'll have to wait to see what that is. What I imagine, like I said, is I don't think that he can control it. There's a possibility he could, but maybe he knows how to allow it to take over him a little bit, but still hold himself. But he's obviously going to use that for... All I can think of is making basically a final thing for them to have to go up against. That's going to be a very powerful soot being or something like that they're going to have to fight, like letting himself become a phantom so that they can fight it. So we'll see where that goes. Obviously, he's putting all of his cards down in order to gain the interest of the hires up. But yeah, a little crazy. But yeah, that's my thoughts on episode 8 of Shadow House. Hope you guys enjoyed my impressions. If you did, leave a comment down below, like if you can, subscribe if you haven't already, share this video if you can, and y'all take care.